York City's Oakland Cemetery stands a figure cloaked in darkness and mystery, the Black Angel, a towering bronze statue that looms over the grave of Teresa Feldwert. Erected in mourning, the angel's darkened form and unsettling gaze quickly became the source of fearful whispers. Legend says she is cursed, a silent harbinger of death, watching and waiting for those who dare to defy her silent warning. By day, the statue is imposing, her massive wings stretching wide, casting shadows over the graves below. But as night falls, her presence shifts from solemn to sinister. Those who have dared to visit her after dark claim to feel an intense, bone-chilling cold radiate from the statue, as if death itself were reaching out. They say that anyone who dares touch the angel at midnight will suffer misfortune, illness, or worse, death within days. Some claim to have seen her eyes glow faintly, an unnatural, haunting light that pierces through the fog, as if the angel herself is peering into the souls of those nearby. A few witnesses swear that her wings have moved, rustling slightly, and her hands seem to reach out, fingers stiff yet desperate, as if she longs to pull the living into her cold, stone embrace. Teenagers once dared to kiss the feet of the angel, testing her rumoured curse, but tragedy followed. Accidents, inexplicable illnesses, and even untimely deaths plagued those who tried to defy her legend. Her presence, they say, is more than mere stone. It is a shadow of sorrow and vengeance, eternally bound to the cemetery. Today, locals avoid the Black Angel at night, believing she still harbours a dark power, and if you stand before her, feeling her hollow gaze settle upon you, remember, her curse awaits anyone brave or foolish enough to challenge her. In the shadowed expanse of Druid Ridge Cemetery in Pikesville, Maryland, a cold, dark statue loomed, a spectral figure known as Black Aggie. This life-sized, cloaked woman, with her face veiled in shadow, sat atop the grave of General Felix Agnes, her granite form exuding a chilling, otherworldly aura. By day, she appeared merely sombre and brooding, but as night fell, the true horror of Black Aggie was said to awaken. Legend tells that Aggie's eyes glowed red after midnight, casting an eerie light over the tombstones, watching anyone foolish enough to linger after dark. Locals swore that the air around her turned deathly cold at night, as though she was drawing warmth and life into herself. Whispers echoed through the town that those who dared meet her gaze would be haunted, plagued by nightmares so vivid they left physical marks, scratches, bruises, inexplicable chills that never went away. Daring teens tested the legend, sneaking into the cemetery to touch Black Aggie's cold, stone feet, but few made it close without recoiling. Those who reached out to touch her swore they felt Aggie's granite hands shift, her fingers stretching toward them, or the faint press of invisible hands gripping their shoulders, holding them in place. One night, a young man dared to spend the night under Aggie's watchful stare. At dawn, he was found frozen in terror, his face twisted in a silent scream. Rumours claimed that Aggie had drawn the life from him, leaving him nothing but a hollow shell. Today, Black Aggie is gone, removed from Druid Ridge Cemetery, but those who remember her say that if you wander near her former resting place
There is a small town tucked away in a forgotten corner of the countryside where something strange happened every morning at precisely 5 a.m. The townspeople called it the baby train. It was said that each day, without fail, a train would pass through, its whistle echoing through the empty streets, a sound that tore through sleep and dreams, leaving only the darkness before dawn. The whistle had an eerie quality, something that seemed to linger in the air long after the train was gone. It was almost like a voice, calling out to those still trapped in the haze of sleep, urging them to do something, anything, to fill the empty, unsettling hour. Couples would wake, eyes half open, feeling a compulsion they couldn't quite place. It was too early to start the day, too late to drift back into peaceful slumber. In that strange, suspended time, they turned to each other, as if possessed by some unseen force. Months passed, and soon the town found itself in the midst of a baby boom, a surge of infants born at almost exactly the same time. But there was something peculiar about the children. They were quiet, too quiet, their eyes wide and unblinking, as if they had brought something back with them from the foggy mornings when they were conceived. They grew quickly, their laughter echoing the train's whistle, high-pitched and almost unnatural, as if mocking the very people who had brought them into the world. The train still comes every morning at 5 a.m., and though the town has changed, the legend persists. The older residents warn newcomers, when you hear the whistle, stay in bed. Don't move, don't look out the window, and above all, don't answer the call. Because those born of the baby train are not quite like other children, and perhaps it's best not to add to their numbers. It always begins the same way. A driver, alone at night, hearing something strange beneath their car. A dull, grinding noise, a scraping that sends a shiver up their spine. The road is empty, the darkness endless, and the driver pulls over, heart thudding, convinced it must be something serious. They step out into the silence, the cold night air biting against their skin. There's nothing around, only shadows, long and unnaturally still. They crouch down, peering beneath the car, their breath fogging in the cold. That's when it happens. A flash of silver, a brutal slice, and the driver screams. The pain is instant, searing as their ankles are cut open, tendons severed. They collapse to the ground, writhing in agony, unable to move, the world blurring around them. In their panic, they see it, a shadowy figure emerging from underneath the car, moving with a calm, predatory grace. The thief rises, stepping over the driver, as if they are nothing more than a discarded object. Without a word, they slide into the car, door slamming shut, the engine roaring to life. The headlights sweep across the road, illuminating the driver's twisted form for a heartbeat before the car speeds away, leaving them alone, helpless, bleeding into the asphalt. The legend of the ankle-slicing car thief is a warning, a reminder that not all noises should be investigated, not every strange sound should be pursued. Because sometimes, in the dead of night, what waits in the shadows is not just a problem to be fixed, but a nightmare lurking beneath, ready to strike when you least expect it.
In the chilling winter of 1953, the quiet town of Bladenboro, North Carolina, was gripped by fear. It started with a single grisly discovery. A family dog, its body drained of blood, left lifeless on the icy ground. The town whispered of a shadow in the woods, a monstrous creature with eyes that gleamed in the dark and fangs sharp enough to tear flesh like paper. They called it the Beast of Bladenboro, or more hauntingly, the Vampire Beast. Each night, the body count rose. Livestock and pets were found slaughtered, their corpses mangled, throats punctured by jagged teeth. The beast struck with silent, brutal efficiency, leaving trails of blood-soaked snow, yet no paw prints or clues. Locals reported glimpses of a hulking, cat-like creature, its coat a menacing shade that seemed to meld with the shadows. Its movements were swift and unnaturally smooth, stalking its prey with the calculated precision of a seasoned predator. Panic spread, and townsfolk gathered rifles and flashlights, forming hunting parties to track the monster. But the beast seemed to toy with them, vanishing like a spectre before they could close in. At night, they heard the eerie, guttural growls echoing from the woods, chilling them to the bone. Hunters claimed to feel eyes watching